Archangel Michael. The devil experienced the ultimate supernatural, traumatic event in his life. When he rebelled against the dominion of Yahweh and was cast out of heaven, which made him feel humiliated and vengeful. He is the eternal example of why sometimes it's better to let go of certain negativity and focus on the positive aspects of life. Even though Samuel and his demons attack everyone, they put extra efforts in attacking their main targets, powerful empaths exposing their demonic deeds publicly in the name of Yahweh. Empaths don't give up their God-given power to the devil, they use their power against him. This is why the demonic do all they can, attacks and afflictions, to prevent the empath from growing up to fulfill his purpose to Yahweh. In retaliation for being cast out of paradise, the devil conspired a plan to take down Yahweh's most prized possession, mankind, an entity with free will. He infected the weak-minded such as the police with bloodlust. He infected the weak of flesh with carnal lust. He infected the greedy with material lust. And he infected the weak of will with food lust. All of these things are sins and a mockery to Yahweh. No demon ever accused mankind of being smart. They think man is so dense and has such low discernment that he can't even face the simple fact that the entity who he willingly let know, use and gaslight him the best, hates him the most. That is how the Antichrist plans to control, that is called pleonexia, the insatiable desire to have what rightfully belongs to others, and he uses it to cause injustice, racism, hatred, instability, and chaos in human lives. Being on the right side of things with Yahweh is the only supernatural restraint and defense from this creature called the Antichrist. The devil knew there were special trees planted as tests in the Garden of Eden, whose fruit held forever consequences for mankind. The trees and their fruits were symbolic, representing the actions of man to sin or not to sin. One tree would make man live forever, the tree of life. It was symbolic of staying on the path and accepting the holy dominion of Yahweh. The other tree's fruit was the tree of death, sin. Being gaslight to consume this fruit meant suffering, agony, pain, struggle and death, the apple being symbolic to the sin of lust and intercourse. Man had free will to eat from either of the two trees that represented a matter of life and death, and a matter of good and evil. Man could have learned of the difference between good and evil without becoming evil in the process by rejecting the devil's temptation of becoming as knowledgeable as Yahweh. But because man didn't make the right choice, he is still suffering the consequences of sin even today. Get familiar with the term Day Zero, prepare for it. It is already happening in many parts of the world. It is caused by the Antichrist. We have warned about the Ides of Change. This is part of it. Stay prayed up. Archangel Gabriel. The failure of prosperity ministry, especially in communities of color, has been harmful. People of color in churches over the last 80 years who started believing in the tithe and offering messages have been gaslight and made to feel guilty if they do not give 10% of their hard-earned income to the church. This has generated over $75 billion collected within the black churches alone, not to mention what was collected in Latino churches over this time period. The main people who generated this massive amount of money were the preachers and other high-ranking officials in the church. If the people who paid the tithes and offerings needed financial help from the churches to make ends meet, they were often turned away with no help at all coming from the church. One must come to question, where are all the markets that should have been created by this massive amount of wealth generated by the churches? For the most part, people of color in the United States, regardless of their race, black, Latino, Asian or Indian, have nothing to show for their generosity. They own very little land, schools, banks, hospitals, airlines, media companies, oil and energy companies, insurance and pharmaceutical companies, automobile or airplane manufacturing, retail outlets, professional sporting team, technology and beauty supply stores, farms, construction companies, theaters, etc. This is massive failure by the church's preaching prosperity ministry. It was the Catholic Church which chose which books of the Bible to publish and gaslight as their witness to the scriptures. Yahweh is not restricted to just speaking through man's written word, he speaks through prophecy, angels, empaths, the universe, subconsciousness, and individually to everyone. Be leery of the documents of Catholic Church's record of history, it is twisted. Twisting is what the devil does, nothing he does is good. You must learn quickly in order to enter into heaven from Isaiah 5 verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. What sorrow for those who say that evil is good and good is evil, that dark is light and light is dark, the world is in trouble. One must ask himself how much time is actually left, what will happen to me and my circle? Will I be standing outside of the gates of heaven looking in because I was disobedient to the will of Yahweh? Did I treat people right? Did I always think something was wrong with me and my heart was evil because while I was in the pit of my gaslighting I believed that I just couldn't feel anything and wasn't meant for anybody? Am I guilty of being racist and a bigot who denied the humanity of some people? Was I mean-spirited, quick to anger, and hard to get along with, making people not wanting to be around me, thus creating hell on earth for some because my inner demons never allowed me to keep the peace? Did I sell my soul for material gain because I didn't believe Yahweh would put me in a better situation? Did I disrespect my parents, use profanity in front of them or wish ill will towards them? Did I use or hire practitioners who practice satanic magic and evil to harm others? Understand that using evil spirits to achieve fame will end extremely awful. Did I not do any research on my own to seek the truth about the real Creator? And stop being gaslighted and whitewashed by the Catholic Church and descendants of Cain? Was I a good parent and protected my children from harm and lead them to Yahweh? Did I entertain thoughts of suicide because of my situation? Did I seek Yahweh? If you can truly answer yes to any of these questions, then you are running out of time. Atone, repent and ask Yahshua and Yahweh to forgive you, your ancestors and your circle today. You have been advised. Take this advice seriously. Correct your behavior and let these questions be a guide for the rules for the direction of your mind. Soon the angels will stop communicating, our jobs are almost done, we have tried our best. Archangel Gabriel. Understand that there is nothing on this earth worth going to hell for, including Israel. The belief that Israel had to be formed and protected so that Jesus, a fake entity, could come back, is the biggest scam the world has ever known. Yahweh nor Yahshua need what is known as modern-day Israel in order to do anything. Eternal damnation is just that, eternal. Be careful to what you listen to, believe in, and support. True believers can get Yahweh's message without man's written words. That's the power of a soul. All people are guilty of being mindless until they can feel for those who need it the most. Understand that modern-day Israel will commit such atrocious acts that the entire world is going to want to fight them. For Israelites and other demonic narcissists, accountability feels like an attack because they are incapable and unwilling to acknowledge how their behavior harms others.
אני אישית גאה בהריסות של עזה ושכל תינוק, גם עוד 8...
Yahshua, the true Messiah. Jeremiah 23 verse 27. They think the dreams they tell one another will make my people forget my name, just as their ancestors forgot my name through Baal worship. The gaslighting has been so intense that most have either forgotten or never knew my name. Do not get confused with titles that man has assigned to me. My name is Yahshua and my father is Yahweh. The word Elohim is merely a title, an adjective that mankind has applied to me to simply describe the total power and dominion of me. Many may think my name is God, Lord, etc., but those words are also titles. As for the word Jesus, there is no Jesus and never was. the Roman Catholic Church and modern-day Israel are religious demonic teachings that should be cancelled. I, Yahweh, am the Alpha and Omega. Every head shall bow down upon my return, and it will not be in modern-day Israel. The demonic find pleasure in breaking people down, and the pain you experience from it, the way you harm the demonic narcissists, is building yourself up, being happy and believing in Yahweh. Because what really destroys their ego is when they see that you're not affected by their attempts to destroy you. You're still able to do what you need to do. You're still able to live the life that you want to live. You're still able to laugh and smile, which means that their efforts have gone to waste. Their plan has failed. You stayed on the path. You didn't sell your soul. Yahweh says, "Come on in, my faithful child, come on in. Seek Yahweh."